Welcome, everybody, to Engaged Citizens. I am your host, Sharrie Ryan, and today I am speaking with Clatskanie mayoral candidate, Jean Sampson. Hi, Jean.
Hi, Sherry. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so glad to have you. Welcome. You are running for the mayor position in Clatskanie, and I'm so
Yeah,
excited to talk to you today. So,
thank you.
yeah, we're going to just get to know you a little bit. So tell us a
Okay,
little bit about who you are and about yourself. Just give us a little 411 on you, Jean.
okay. Well, I was born and raised here. I graduated from Clatskanie High School, and I am the daughter of a commercial fishing family, Columbia River fishing family, and I've got deep roots in the community here. My grandpa served on the water board, the PUD board, and my great grandpa was one of the original organizers of the Clatskanie PUD. So over 70 years of being in this community and being a part of it. And I
Yeah.
stayed here until I was 18 and graduated, and I went and lived around the Portland area for a long time when it was much different up there than it is now, but I lived in Gresham and Tigard and Beaverton and Hillsborough, and then moved to Utah, lived in Salt Lake City for 4 years, lived in Chandler, Arizona for a year, and then we were back up in Lacey, Washington for about 12 years before we decided needed to come home and take care of family. My grandparents were getting older and caring for my uncle who has a traumatic brain injury. So moved back here so we could be closer to family and the kids could be around the grandparents and everything like that. So been back here since 2009. And my kids have both gone to Clatskanie and now graduated. I'm the mother of two. My daughter lives close to Rainier, and my son is in the Air Force right now, and he is in Las Vegas. So,
Very
um,
cool.
yeah,
You guys are definitely have your roots in Clatskanie and
very much.
the generations, right? What do you love about Clatskanie?
Well, I think growing up, I didn't appreciate it as much as I do now. So when I moved away and lived in big cities, um, you know, outside of Phoenix and Salt Lake City, I've lived in medium-sized cities in Lacey, Washington. Um, just the big city problems. There's a lot more crime, there's a lot more traffic, there's just a lot more of everything. And so when we moved back to Clatskanie, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was just quiet, and you give up some of the luxuries of having 24-hour services or places you can just run to and eat all the time or something like that. But in exchange for that, you get quiet and you get peace and you get
Yes.
relatively no traffic. And so now when we go to the city and go shop or what have you, it is so nice to come back here where it feels safe and it feels comfortable, and everybody, and your
Yeah.
neighbors. So that's
The
that's what I
small
really
town
love.
charm for sure.
It does. It
Right?
still has that very much small town feel to it. And I think that the majority of residents here want to keep that kind of feeling, that just removed from the rat race a little bit feeling out here.
Yeah, it's important. That's why they live there.
Yes.
What made you run for mayor? Like, why do you want to be the mayor of Clatskanie, Jean?
Well, I've been a city councilor now for a couple years, and I love it. It's been a lot of fun, and we've been able to be part of some exciting things like the revamping of the pool and the splash park area, things like that. And we've had some other issues that have been a little bit harder. So it's really been exciting. And my whole background since I've moved back to Clatskanie has been volunteering in one way or another in the community. And for me, this would just be one more way to volunteer and try to give back and help
Yeah,
retain the charm and the quality of life in our town. So
yeah, the
I
culture. Yeah,
right, right. So yeah, I
definitely.
started the CMHS Share Shed that supplies clothing and toiletries and backpacks, shoes, formal wear, prom gowns to kids at the high school for free, and that was really fun. And then my friend
Yeah.
Kristen Ramsey and I started the Clatskanie Be a Blessing group, and that it's just kind of a group of it's an unofficial group where we just come up with activities, like we put toiletry boxes together for the Amber residents. And
Okay.
Clatskanie comes out in droves. When you just say, hey, someone needs help, here's what we're trying to
Yeah.
do, it's amazing what people will do. So I
Yeah.
feel like as mayor, I would be able to
Mhm.
just do that in another capacity where, you
Yeah.
know, organizing things, leading things, and getting the
Yeah.
community involved. I think there's a lot of people who want to be more involved. Maybe they just don't know how to do it. So I'm good
Okay.
at that. And that is
Yeah.
something that
Including
I would like
people
to
and
bring
getting
to the
people going.
table. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I just
Yeah.
come up with harebrained schemes sometimes, and I just say,
Yeah.
hey, let's do this. So like we got
Yeah.
a ballistic vest for the Columbia County Canine, and that was a
Okay.
big ask. It was huge, but the
Mm.
community just rallied, and we ended up
Yeah.
getting over $3,000 and got him a new
Wow.
vest. So those are,
Wow.
just kind of the things that I've I've found by accident
Yeah.
that I seem to be okay with. So I just like to try to get everybody together and working towards a common goal, and it
Yeah.
benefits everybody in the long run.
Yeah, that is a huge quality for a mayor, I believe, is, rounding up the troops and getting
Yeah.
people involved and finding the things that need to be fixed and then doing it. Or
Yes.
finding the things that need, improvement and doing it.
Yep.
I've been talking to a few mayor candidates, and when I was researching what a mayor does, there's kind of some different, things that come about, talking about strong and weak mayor setting. And I didn't know really
Right.
what that was. So I researched it, and
Huh?
so it comes down to like each town, each town is different. So the powers afforded
Right.
to that mayor, they're based on the structure of the local government. It's not like that every town is the same. And so
Right.
what do you think, Clatskanie's setting is mayor, the setting for the mayor is weak or strong? Like how are they involved?
It's the setup is a weak mayor setting.
Okay.
However, I think it's kind of a misnomer for people to hear the term weak mayor. They don't really
Right?
understand what that means. And that
Yeah.
just means, I can't go in and I wouldn't be able to veto the city council's decisions, or,
Yeah.
I would be a voting member of the council
Yeah.
as well. We have a city manager, so I wouldn't be constructing the budget or anything like that. So
Okay.
you lead the meetings, you do things like that in the community. But in that setting, if you do have ideas, which I do, and I have a lot of projects I want to do and get off the ground, I
Yeah.
think it would be really important to be able to work effectively with the city manager and the city councilors, so you can all
Yeah.
be a team, all working towards
Yes.
a good goal. And I really feel like with our council we have now, it's just such a strong, good-hearted council, and I
That's
really
great.
appreciate that about them. We have very much the city's best interests at heart. So I think it would
That
be a lot
is
of fun.
that's great to hear. What are your top three platforms? And by that, just what are, say, the top three things that if you were elected as mayor coming in, you're like, I want to address these, and the things that are kind of your top priority.
Right. Okay. The first and foremost is safer streets. I'm really focused on reducing crime,
Yeah.
enhancing our police coverage. We do not have a police department, so we
Mhm.
rely solely on the sheriff's department for our police coverage here, and
Okay.
sometimes state troopers are in town, but generally it is the deputies who are taking care of us. So I would like to see more coverage, or eventually work towards having another police department again. We do have a
Yeah.
sewer plant standing in the way right now that's going to cost about $10 million
Okay.
plus. So that is
Okay.
something that is going to be kind of a hurdle, and something we're going to be having to focus money on. But the city manager he's already secured a $7 million grant towards that, and is working to get more. So that would offset the cost for citizens in town. So I would
Great.
really like to see, and I've been working closely with Sheriff Pixley and the deputies, who are amazing. We have such a good group of deputies. I wish people could get to know them individually. They would
Yeah. Yeah.
see how much they care about this town and how much they
Yeah.
care about this community, and the way they
Yeah.
compassionately help me when there's a situation in town. I get lots of
Yeah.
calls from citizens who just know that I'm going to help them, and if I have a capacity to help, I will. And I've been able to work closely with the deputies to get different things resolved in town. So that is the number one platform. I
Yeah.
also, in that safer streets, I want slower traffic. Our
Okay.
the
Okay. Yeah.
traffic
With
going
Highway
through
30 right
town,
through there, right?
yes, it is a straightaway, and it's
Mhm,
by the time people get to the boat ramp or
mhm.
fins, they are already at highway speed, and it's very unsafe. We've had some
Yeah.
terrible close calls. We've had some accidents in town. So
Mhm.
I would be
Yeah.
working towards the goal of possibly installing more streetlights to
Okay.
just break up the flow of traffic, or do
Yeah.
something along those lines, even if we turn maybe a right lane into a right turn only lane where they aren't
Okay.
using
Yeah.
that as a pole position to get the best
Mm,
the best spot to get out of town. So there's some ideas I have there that would
mhm.
go towards safer streets. And then
Yeah.
support of local business, that is huge,
Yeah.
huge, huge for me.
Mhm.
I want to incentivize more people to open businesses in town that would be in harmony with our community and not take away from other businesses in town, but also supporting the ones that are here. And if that means coming up with a shop local program. They do something like that during the holidays around here, but expanding that year round.
Yeah.
We did pass a resolution in 2021 in the midst of the shutdowns. And I
Okay.
brought a resolution forward to allow our businesses to open up despite the shutdowns, because our businesses were dying on the vine, and it
Yeah.
was horrible. And it's
Yeah.
not a business, it's a local family. You have to look at the families behind the
Yeah.
business and the
Yeah.
people who are struggling. And, I had one woman tell me that her and her teenage son were facing homelessness if their
Yeah.
business didn't succeed. And it was a very passionate meeting.
Yeah.
It was a big one. It
Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
little unruly, but then it did calm down, and people were able to voice their concerns, and we did pass the resolution unanimously. So that was a win. But also,
Mhm.
I just want to really drive home shopping local, supporting local businesses. We've got a
Yeah.
great farmers market. We've got a lot of things going on in town. We just need to fill up all the storefronts now. So that's something I would be
Yeah.
working towards. And the last
Very
thing that I really want to work towards, just the top three, is
mhm.
beautification of the town.
Yeah.
Vernonia just recently got a beautification grant, and they've
Mhm.
used it. I haven't seen it for myself yet, but I'm told
Yeah.
that it has just done wonders up there.
Oh,
And I think that we really
cool.
could benefit from doing that, working towards getting more pollinator friendly areas in town. We've just got
Oh,
some
yeah.
ideas towards
Yeah.
loofing the place up and getting
Yeah.
getting the
Yeah.
storefronts pretty, and getting flowers planted, and making it a place that the
Yeah.
people going through to the beach, they want to stop
Yeah.
here. They want to stay here for a little while. They want to eat in
Yeah.
the restaurants. They want to shop in the stores instead of just zipping right on through and on their way to the
Yeah.
beach. Give them a reason to want to stop here and support our local economy.
That is great. Those are great platforms, and thank you for sharing your thoughts on those. I have some that are just kind of hot topics, and so
Okay.
just one that I chose. It is about a homeless population, and we're all facing that in our
Yes.
communities. Okay, we're all
Right.
facing this increasing homeless population coming
Right.
in to our cities and towns and areas. What do you think could be done about that? What is your thoughts on that?
Well, where we are a
Yeah,
little bit limited in our rural area. The
yeah.
the state of Oregon and even Washington, they are spending hundreds of millions of dollars towards the
Mm.
homeless issue, but
Yeah,
it's not getting any better. In fact, it's getting
yeah,
worse. The more money
yes,
they're pumping into these situations, I think
yeah,
Seattle is spending on average $100,000 per homeless person, and it's not making it go away. It is bringing people in from other states, because
yeah,
there's programs, there's handouts, there's
mhm,
so many things that are accepted, and at the detriment of tax-paying citizens and
yeah,
businesses who are being driven out because it's dangerous, because
yeah,
it's no longer profitable for them to be doing business in the midst of the homeless crisis.
yeah.
So I am kind of a tough love approach to homelessness.
Okay,
I don't believe in just handouts. I
yeah,
believe in programs like Community House on Broadway and Longview, who require people to be working and have some skin in the game towards their own sobriety and
mm,
getting themselves off the streets. There's
okay,
also the Eugene Mission down in Eugene, Oregon. Again, they provide low barrier assistance for 2 weeks, and then it goes to you have to be sober and you have to be putting in the work. We in
Yeah.
Clatskanie don't have any facilities like that. We don't
Okay.
have any resources like that. We're
Yeah.
very limited. We're limited geographically and
Yeah.
also just financially. We don't have the money to plunk into things like that. So we have been taking the approach of getting the people who have come into town, which we're finding many are coming in on the bus.
Yeah.
The bus
Yeah.
from Portland that runs the Coast Connector bus, they are
Okay.
coming in, being given free tickets on the bus, and they just show up. So then it's up to our community and our deputies to deal with that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
they have been getting people to resources that can actually help them. They have
Yeah.
resources in Astoria and in
Mhm.
Longview, um, but we here in town just don't have the money or the programs to
Yeah.
take care of people like that. We do have short-term help.
Yeah.
Gateway Worship Center is one that helps
Mhm.
people in town, with just immediate needs.
Yeah.
Generally, that's more, citizen-based, but um, we've had some more criminal elements moving into town and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. And the
Because of
deputies
that.
have been, yeah,
Mm.
it's unfortunately, I mean, I'm not painting homelessness with a broad brush and saying they're all criminals. Clearly they're
Yeah.
not, but
No.
we have
No.
had people with mental health crises in town. We have
Yeah.
had people with some behavioral issues that are, harmful to people in our town and kids
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah.
So my approach is a little more hard line, like you don't do that. We're
Yeah.
not going
Yeah.
to tolerate that in our town.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the deputies and I have been working hand in hand to try to get the people to the resources they need and also
Mhm.
protect the citizens of Clatskanie.
That sounds like a good plan. Thank you so much for sharing that. Another hot topic is you talked about, your plans for beautifying Clatskanie,
Yes,
and just a little bit more about that. Just if, it's just kind of like growing Clatskanie's economy, but also keeping it that, that rural
right,
culture, what is,
right.
maybe kind of talk about that for a bit.
I think I love the crowd history we have in this town, and the mural
Mhm.
projects have been something that's they've kind of brought that to life, and just small things that are being done around town with the flower planters we have downtown, and there's several businesses right now in the process of repainting their businesses and doing that sort of thing. The majority of people I talk to, and I ask people everywhere I go, if I'm at the drive-through at the coffee shop or if I'm just around the park or what have you, I have people calling me with their concerns. Or I'll just ask, how do you feel about Clatskanie growing? And the majority of them that have relayed to me that they appreciate the rural feel of it here. It's okay to not have every service available in town. They don't mind driving to those services to to be able to retain the small town feel of here. I do feel it's important to have responsible growth, not just growth for growth's sake. I think you can have new businesses come in, you can have new housing developments come in, but it's got to fit into the fabric of our environment here and not be detrimental to the other businesses that are, doing a great job, have been a part of this community for decades. So I would want to look at any growth coming in to make sure it is right, not only for the people who want to bring it in, but also for the people who already live here. And I just go to the source. I go right to the
Yeah.
people. I just start asking people, what are your thoughts? What do you want? What
Yeah.
what what matters to you? Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, we're elected to represent the people. So I like
Yes.
to get
Yes.
input from hundreds of people so I can
Yeah.
formulate an idea and come up with what seems to be the best for everybody.
And then carry out the plan.
Yeah.
Right? Well, Jean, I so appreciate you like taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know that you're very busy and running for mayor is busy in
It
itself. And so thank you for taking time to share about your views and about yourself with the community and get to know you a little bit. So I'm going to point people towards your Facebook page, which is
Yeah.
Elect Jean Sampson for Mayor. And
Yes.
so I'll post that on this video. And, I want to hear about any events that are coming up and such, and people
Okay.
can find that there. So good luck,
Wonderful.
Jean, and thank you so much. And take care, okay?
Thank you so much, Sherry. I appreciate your time.
Yes. Okay, bye.
Bye.